Hey guys, Mozo and Negron Tech here, and today what you're really looking at again is my starter one, my day one starter update on my Void Knight Giga Hammers that focuses on disintegrating aura. With that said, we also use Future Strike. We plan on using Doom from Slavery of Anguish or the boots from the Gaze of Oribos boss, and then we also get Time Rot and a lot of dot stuff, including the disintegrated aura. We are actually also using the Adorn idols with smite proccing because those did get buffed, where the percentage range actually got increased. So that's, as you can see as we're going around, we have our beautiful purple hammers with that disintegrating aura dot hovering around us. We lunge around the arena. I wish this was an arena map, but we lunge around the arena, and then we just let our hammers and our smites do all the work. And everything, the hammers are still, even though the disintegrating aura is damage over time, it's still based off throwing attack damage. It still applies on hit effects, so that's what's really, really nice. We throw 3 hammers out, the hammers spire us, and each hammer, they can hit the enemy multiple times, and they also apply those dots like Future Strike, Time Rot. So we always get to almost max Time Rot stacks pretty quickly. And with certain bosses, you'll see that you get really, really high Future Strike stacks. Like, I know the Rated Dragons boss, because the hitbox is so big, I even got to like 100 stacks, and like the 2-second burst with that is nuts. Once I get out of this map, I'll kind of go over the build, but that's pretty much it. You always want an anomaly on cooldown to get that sweet time bubble proc. Get that nice 100% uptime with the spec and the skill tree. You're able to get 100% uptime. You always want to maintain Devouring Orb as well. Gives you some more void damage, some mana regen. Look at this later. And then also gives you move speed, attack speed. A lot of goodies here. Pretty standard too with Volatile Reversal. You want to use it in combination when you have a big DPS window, a lot of Future Strike stacks, your max Time Rot stack, so you get the more Time Rot bonus here from Volatile Reversal, as well as the enemies taking more damage. Comparatively to my last cycle, we are going to go Smite this time. Again, even though we are scaling throwing attack, the addition of just getting big vitality scaling, hopefully get 90 to 100 with Smite, getting a lot of base damage from that, we still get so much scaling from general damage and void damage. We get throwing and spell void here, gets both. General void damage here, increases the void here, and dread will get the echoes benefit Smite, the vitality here, more vitality here. It's just very, 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 very good. In the skill tree too, I am going to do something different because we're not going deep into Forge or Paladin. We're actually going to go a little bit deeper into Sentinel to get Blade Master. This is just a crazy node. That's so much attack speed just for equipping a sword. And you see here, it's just kind of nuts how much attack speed we get. It's just like, it's such a good node. It's much better than I think having to maintain Soldiers of Hope, which is like really just a crappy playstyle. It's just a pain to actually maintain Soldiers of Hope properly in monoliths because the on-kill percentage isn't high enough. So it's just nicer not having to go in the Paladin. Plus, the Paladin tree is really not that good. The spell damage with the shield helps Smite, but doesn't help the rest of our damage. So it's just better to just get more attack speed, get more dot procs, more quality of life, way more overall DPS, just getting attack speed. It's very, very good for us, especially because you go to Future Strike. As many stacks as you can get in 2 seconds, and you get that big proc at the end of the duration, it's huge. It's a lot of big damage at 2 seconds, and it complements generally slow dot playstyle to make it nice and bursty. I'll put the link in here, so look at the skill tree. It's pretty standard, nothing too crazy. I will talk about the endgame variant that I think in the end. And again, Smite, we go based off Ignite because that actually turns into slow chance, and we get big multipliers here. We're not going crit because we are more dot and general void and damage over time focus, so no crit, which is why we also go Singularity. Again, with the idols, it did take a while to get these. I didn't get my first one till like the 70s, but up until that, like, it's still, Hammer Throw is just such a smooth leveling process, such a smooth playstyle. As soon as you get multiple Proj and Nova, it's just so nice. Once you get Disintegrating Aura, the leveling is very, 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 very nice. If you have any question with the skills or the tree, let me know. And talking about gear, again, I think Blade of the Forgotten Knight is just, at least for monoliths, maybe ball scene might change it up a bit, but monoliths is just getting that attack speed, getting the cast speed even is pretty decent. But the Void Pen with Rot is cool. But the haste on hit, you're going to have almost 100% uptime because you're hitting so goddamn much with your hammer throws and Smite. Is just crazy, right? And then you get general increased void damage. Hopefully you get a higher roll in the void damage in the future. I'll try to keep farming it. You can get this in Reign of the Dragons. So once you do get Reign of the Dragons, if you are playing this type of build, try to farm it. And then, of course, with Circle of Fortune, they did change it so level 4 gets you the whole set, which is nice. I'm not using the neck. I don't think the neck is good because it has the crit. Not really worth it. The shield for now I am using. I actually did get the Apocalypse shield as well, but I don't think the Apocalypse shield is really that good. This gets 70% increased void damage on Apocalypse when it chunks your health. The armor and block chance and the block chance base and block effectiveness is very, very good. But the DPS, the percentage chance to inflict time rot and taking less void damage on block, it's just so good. You know, at least until maybe like 500 corruption, I might change it out. But to the rest of the gear, my gear is pretty trash. My resistances are trash, and I'm still having no problem really doing 100 corruption. I know it's like the bare minimum, but it's just super simple, right? There's absolutely no issues with this character. The gloves suck. Just one thing to note is that we really want to get as much base throwing damage as possible, as Hammer Throw did get buffed with Disintegrating Aura, and we get a big base damage increase. It went from 5 to 8, I believe, and then also we have 200% damage effectiveness compared to 125 from last patch, so that's huge. We're going to get huge damage by going, throwing mana cost reduction, make quality of life very, very good too. The gloves, I don't like at all these. I just have them because I do. I have not been able to find exalted gloves or rings with throwing damage, which is kind of really, really sad. Getting exalted throwing damage on the amulet would be huge too. The attack speed base is not too important. Belt, I do think it's important to get mana regen at somewhere around your gear. If you don't have the Blade of the Forgotten Knight, I was using a blue weapon that had void damage and mana regen just to make quality of life a little bit better and just spam it without really having to think about getting the mana back with Volatile Reversal, and use Volatile Reversal really just for our DPS windows, which is what we want. The big luck that I did get this cycle is going to be the Sentinel Relic. Getting that +4 to Hammer Throw was nuts. Able to get even more mana cost reduction. And again, looking at the tree, because they reduced the cost of Rapid Disintegration, we get more points to go into Guardian Zeal, get Zeal stacks. The crit doesn't do much, but that's a 90% global increased damage, which is just like crazy having that up at all times because it affects our dots. And that's pretty much it. You know, besides the Adorn idols, getting 2 well-rolled idols, like just these 2, the 42% or 43% is probably enough, because again, you have multiple proges, you're attacking so fast, and your smites, you know, they're proccing, and you get so much on hit. Remember, it's your throwing attacks on hit. It's not when you cast it. So as you're dashing around with lunge and you have your orbs orbiting you, you lunge into a pack and all those hammers are hitting, and then you're just proccing smite everywhere. It's really, really fantastic. There are other idols that give increases to void damage, which are awesome. See if I get any over here. Nah. There are some where it's like, damn, I'm not really getting lucky with the idols, I guess, besides the smite ones. But there are some that give like increased void damage, like when you echo and increased echo damage. Those are very, very, very good because we're gonna echo so much. So talking about an endgame variant, I do think that a self-cast might probably be kind of crazy, especially because the Void Tree gets so much crit multi, so much scaling with smite. You know, vitality stacking and going pure spell would be awesome, especially with some of the new uniques. Additionally, I actually think secretly that Shield Throw, Pure Void, there is an idol that converts Shield Throw's base damage to Void, would be kind of disgusting, because you just need one idol to do that, and then all of a sudden, instead of going dot, you just use all the critical nodes over here, and you go pure crit, Shield Throw, base Void, while proccing smite, using 1 or 2, maybe Adorn idols over here. I think that would actually be the best endgame variant, because crit is so strong, but that is very, very gear dependent. This is much more starter oriented, getting to, you know, 3 to 500 corrupted, smoothing there, and then farming, you know, either to push it as far as you can, or going to a different Void Knight endgame build, or farming for a whole different class. So that's pretty much it. I'm absolutely in love with this build. I love my Lightning Shaman too, but this is like, with the buffs, I had to try it. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Love to answer what you got. I feel like I love getting these videos because the community is so active. Mostly when they're at Tech here. Have a good one, guys.